In 2017, a new multi-tool came on the market for CRKT, designed by Glenn Klecker, and this is the CRKT Technician. This is a very unique multi-tool, and it's called the Technician because this is designed for the automotive technician. So this is for those who are working on your car, perhaps have a job at an auto body shop or whatever. It does have a bi-directional carry pouch, but the pouch feels very generic. So this comes in with G10 handle scales, which does help grip the multi-tool. This is 11.93 ounces or 338 grams, and the length of this closed is around that 4.3 inch mark or 11.09 centimeters. So it is just a tiny bit smaller in weight than a Leatherman Surge. It is a fairly hefty multi-tool. And that is put to good use, at least in the plier head. These pliers look very sturdy. These are sort of ginormous pliers. Let's go ahead and bring in this SOG Power Access. I think this is the Deluxe right here, perhaps. And you can see the difference between these two pliers. I mean, this one is very small and this one is very large and very thick. So that is a positive if you want something that is pretty tough. There are some other pretty cool tools on this as well. So this right here is one of those pickup tools for when you've lost your screw or your bolt and you are very frustrated in the middle of working on something, it's not going right. You need one of these just to sort of allay your frustration. Now, this right here is the filler gauge, or this is to determine the depth needed. Right here you have all the increments, or the spacing. And then on this side you have the metal file, which actually has the wire stripper and cutter. I guess you could use that for cutting. Then you have this sort of bottle cap lifter just sort of thrown in there on this metal file. Now, none of these implements are locking, so keep that in mind. Right here you have a thumb stud, which is nice because some of these tools are a little bit hard to get to. And then I haven't really figured out how to get to the screwdriver except just to pull up from the bottom. And then you can extend this and then close the knife. And the bit driver is very nice as well. So there you go. You've got the double-sided bits. And that is a very long screwdriver with a little bit more reach than we normally see on multi-tools. I have to say, for this size of multi-tool, I would almost hope for something that would be like ratcheting or something out of the ordinary. But you do have another tool that is different right here. This is called a gasket scraper. And while it looks like a chisel, it doesn't really come to a sharp point. So you have almost like a pry tool gasket scraper right here, which is definitely unique in the size of its width right here. So this multi-tool came out in around 2017, and unfortunately it's no longer made. Now, in its current configuration, I have a couple gripes against it. I guess just personal gripes, but I've read some other people's reviews on it as well, and I have to say I concur. I feel like it's a little bit bulky in its design. Now, I think some of that is meant so you have better grip on it. So let's go ahead and you can just see it's a little bit different how this design is. But when you pull out the handles, I can see how that could sort of help maybe your hands not to slide off. Perhaps you can get a better grip. And then you can sort of anchor your hands here. So I get that. It's just, I'm not sure how practical it is overall. But it is a very unique design. Let's see, I think my favorite tool on this, one of my favorite tools is actually this magnetic tool. I know magnets and multi-tools are a big controversy, but I have to say that I think on one multi-tool, maybe if you use it for auto mechanics, it won't hurt to have something like that on there. I also do like that scraper, not the chisel. It's not a chisel, but the scraper pry bar tool. I think that's pretty cool as well. I really would have liked to see something just extraordinary from this bit driver. It takes up a lot of room, and I would have loved to see someone come up with a ratcheting bit driver that sits in here like this. I think that would be really, really cool. Overall, I'm glad that I bought this. It's a nice collection piece. I think I had to spend somewhere around $60 to $70 for it in like new condition, but I hardly ever find them anymore, and I think this might have been the first time I saw this on eBay. But unfortunately, they are no longer with us. I wish the design perhaps had been refined a little bit. Would have been nice to see locks added to this, and perhaps, like I said, a ratcheting bit driver. And through the years, maybe a couple different tool configurations added, which would have been really cool to see. Overall, it is a very unique piece, and again, I'm glad to add it to my multi-tool collection.